So obviously tonight, the Miami Heat moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Nick Say is pretty happy. Uh, Unfortunately for the 76ers, the James Harden trade did not pay off. It looked horrific all series, especially tonight. And James Harden did not show up in the most important game of the season. And I would like to hear Gio's thoughts specifically on that, and then we can go to Saya.
So my thoughts on it. We all know what James Harden is in the playoffs, right? It's good to see him score 31 points, I believe, in game 4, was it, when they won. And to me, I don't think this loss is on James Harden. I think he shot, pretty well, all considering, because we don't think he's the player that he once was. Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, to me, are the two guys, especially since they shot 20 shots, and I believe they only scored Joel shot 24 shots. He made 7 of them. And then Tyrese Maxey shot 22 shots and only made 9 of them. So I feel like, on those guys, it's mostly their fault because I don't think James Harden's got anything left in the tank. He should, transfer over to be a catch and shoot type of guy because as we saw in those 31 points in game 4, when he had the ball 4 seconds or less, that's where he was, most lethal. And he can't, dribble around anymore. So, catch and shoots where it's at for him.
I don't know. The reason I put it on Harden is because the fact that they traded for him to be their second star next to Embiid, and he only shot 11 shots and 2 in the second half when he was playing pretty efficiently in the first half. Like you would think he would have hunted his shot more in the second half, and he didn't. That's the only reason I say it's on Harden.
Right. I agree on that. And here's the thing. I think they, gave too much up for him, especially
I agree.
that Seth Curry trade. I think they could have just won Ben Simmons for James Harden, kept
Hmm.
Seth Curry, had a great shot with him, and then also he had the depth with him. So
I agree. What do you think, Saya?
Um, I'm happy Tyrese Maxey was not on one tonight. If he was on one, could have been a completely different game. But I have to give mad credit to that Miami defense.
oh, for sure.
Right. Yeah. The defense is insane for sure.
There's a reason my boy Embiid couldn't really do much with it.
Right.
Shout out Bam Adebayo, my boy PJ.
Yep.
And my boy Maxey had an off day because they realized it's got to be Maxey if they wanted to win that game.
Right.
My boy Harden ain't on one.
No.
Do you guys think the 76ers quit like they're making it out like they did? Like towards the end of the game?
I would have to say a little bit, right? But
Yeah,
at
I
the same
agree.
time, they were just going through the motions, showing, that they were still there, but also, I think they could have been more aggressive for sure.
I agree.
I was not worried by the end of that game.
No.
No.
Like Gio said, they were just going through the motions.
Yeah, once I saw that they were like 19 with 7 minutes left, I was like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
But
Good day
I
to be a
mean,
Heat fan.
oh, go ahead. What's up?
It's a good day to be a Heat fan.
Yes, sir.
But
One step closer.
for sure got to shout out Struss though.
Yes,
He
Max
is the
Strus.
biggest find. You guys always have these players that you guys just find out of nowhere. Struss is one of them, he went 4 for 10 from 3-point land, 6 for 14, and then he scored 20 points as well. So,
But for this Heat side, you do have to hope that the Bucks Celtics go to 7 to get Kyle Lowry's hamstring rest and right before
you,
the Eastern
you
Conference
don't need him.
Finals.
You do not need him.
But if they have him, they make him even more dangerous, defensively especially.
I would have to agree, but at the same time, you have a championship squad without Kyle Lowry, and we've seen these guys play very well together in these past couple games. So,
I don't know. If I was a Heat
and
fan,
when
I'd still want Lowry
and
personally.
when he has to be 100% for
Yeah,
me
I
personally,
agree.
because we saw him play, right? I believe, what was it, game 3 or 4?
Both of them, I believe.
Right, yeah, and they lost because I believe he wasn't fully healthy, and I just don't think it was good ball movement, especially.
Yeah, what do you think, Saya?
I think we have a very good team without Kyle Lowry. But if you throw in a healthy Kyle Lowry, we're on a different level than that.
Right.
And I think against Milwaukee, it would be nice to have a healthy Kyle Lowry. Because I know Drew Holiday's going to have to step up for Milwaukee to try to pass us. But at the same time, I'm very confident in Gabe Vincent. I'm very confident in Victor Oladipo.
Tyler Hero.
Like, offensively, always confident in my boy Tata.
Yeah, for sure.
Defensively, he's a little iffy.
Right. That's why I was saying, like, if you got Kyle Lowry back, it would just help you guys even that much more.
My thought process is, since you guys are home, game 1 and 2, I believe you guys should rest Kyle Lowry to the full extent, just so that he can be fully healthy. And if you guys win, I would still try to, rest him more. But I would just try to rest him until you go to Milwaukee. What is your thought process on that?
If we're winning, then yeah, I agree with you. Don't try to push him. Well, I don't see us losing game 1.
Right.
But if we did, I would throw Lowry in there.
For sure.
So
But if you win game 1, then would you play him game 2?
no.
Right. Okay, cool.
Because hamstrings are tough too. Like, you have to make sure you're taking your time.
I'm very shocked that Devin Booker is playing the way he is with that hamstring injury right now.
Same. Speaking of the Suns, I mean, they're getting smacked right now. They're down by 17 with 1 second left to halftime. I mean, the Mavericks are on a 19-5 run, I believe. I don't know what it has to take for the Suns to win on the road, but we'll see if they can come back in the second half.
I'm not too worried about the Suns team right now. I feel like they're more heavily like a fourth quarter team.
Yeah.
But also like second half in general, where I think they start getting it closer. Then the fourth quarter is where they make their run and they like surpass Dallas.
Yeah, I can still see them winning. Like, I'm never counting them out.
No.
Gio, you got something to say?
Yeah, so for me, it's good to see CP shooting well, at least for the first half. He's 2 for 3 from the field right now, which is pretty good. 1 for 2 from 3-point land. And hopefully, we get to see fourth quarter CP3 go off. But at the same time, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Luka. Right now, he's got 18 points, right? Whereas last game, him and Devin Booker were drawing at each other. And Booker's only got 8 points right now. He's got to lead that team. And right now, I feel like Luka's stepping up to the plate, and he's going to carry his team to a win tonight.
I can see that. I mean, I hope there's a game 7. I've been itching for a game 7 for a while.
I feel like Phoenix would kill them in a game 7, though.
I agree, especially at home. They're not going to lose at home.
But Luka Doncic, I feel like Devin Booker lit a flame in Luka Doncic last game. So
I agree.
It's fun to watch those two though.
For sure.
Like with a lot of these players, I feel like they like each other. It's like a friendly battle.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like D-Book and Luka genuinely are disliking each other more and more every game.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is great to see.
It's like fun to watch because they're both going at each other. They're both phenomenal. Like,
right.
Because it's an actual rivalry where you get to see two players who actually hate each other, like a Larry Bird and a Magic Johnson. We don't see that anymore because everybody's friends in the league, right? So it's great to see because it's entertaining, but at the same time, you get to see both of them go off, both of them get upset, both of them jaw at each other. So,
yeah, I agree. It's definitely fun to see.
But they both have respect for each other at the same time.
Right. Like at the end of the day, they respect each other's games. It's not like they hate each other off the court, but on the court, it's a different type of thing.
Yeah.
But last night, the Warriors got absolutely demolished by the Grizzlies. Like this is a second straight game where the Warriors played bad. It snuck out with a win in game 5, I believe, or game 4, and then game 5. Man, I thought they were going to close it out, but they did not show any heart or effort last night, and it was pretty disappointing to see. What were your guys' thoughts on that?
You can go first if you want.
So the way I was thinking about it, the Warriors were sitting there. Steve Kerr was sitting there talking to the players.
Well, Steve Kerr's not even coaching.
Nah.
but like off the court, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying he was sitting there with Curry, Clay, and Draymond. He was like, "So Steph, what you think about this upcoming game?" Steph said, "Oh, I think we should end the series right here. You know, have a little break." I think Draymond said, "Well, what about Game 6? Clay he doesn't get to come out if we if we win this game." And then Clay was like, "Hey Dre, you right." And Kurt said, "All right, final decision. Game 6, Clay's going to come out and show up."
Fair enough.
But it was just so bad to watch, bro. They got whooped.
Yeah. And the fact that it was without John Morant, that just makes it more embarrassing for a team that you call a championship caliber team. You would expect them to be the ones whooping them.
Especially with
But
the other,
was it? No, go ahead.
when a Grizzlies team does not have their best player and they destroy like a championship level team, that's bad.
Right. It just like shows to the league like that they can be beat.
Oh yeah.
But what do you think, Gio?
One, coaching plays a large part, as we were, discussing that in previous podcasts, that, if a coach matters, and it really does. I feel like, what is his name again? The assistant,
Mike Brown, I
Mike
think.
Brown, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to be the Cavs coach.
He's about to be the
Yeah,
Kings
our
coach
time,
too.
right. And our time period with him was not too great. We lost a lot of games. To see that, he was the head coach that game, to only play, I believe, Steph Curry, what was it, like 9 minutes in the first, like something crazy, ridiculously low in the first half. Having Draymond Green bring up the ball. Here's the thing, Draymond Green's a smart basketball player, but for some reason, I want the point guard to have the ball like Steph Curry. I know there's a lot of plays where he's off the ball, but if you're turning the ball over like you are, I'm having the point guard bring it up, because Steph is so lethal with the ball. And then he's even more lethal after that pass, right? So when he brings up the ball, you're already on your toes. You're already, looking to see if he's going to shoot or he's going to pass it off. They should have ran more plays with Steph having the ball, I believe, and they didn't really do that. And then obviously, since they were down by 50, Clay, Steph didn't really play as much as they, were going to in a regular game. But yeah, I feel like Steph having the ball really would help. I feel like coaching Steve Kerr, he would have brought up plays. And then also Toscano Anderson, Kayvon Looney, Damian Lee, Moody, all these guys that really shouldn't be playing in a playoff game played last night. And I feel like, the aggression wasn't there. They were running through the motions as a Warriors team. They had 22 turnovers. So I don't know. I feel like they're going to go guns blazing the next game. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Obviously, we know what Game 6 Klay is, because he hasn't, proved us wrong yet, especially when I want him to prove us wrong, right? Especially against the Cavs earlier on. Game 6 Klay, he always goes off. So
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna come out guns blazing, like you said, especially for the fact that John Morant was talking all that smack after the game. I think that he lit a fire under them, and he's gonna regret it after next game.
I feel like the entire Grizzlies organization lit a fire over Draymond, because him dancing with the entire arena last night
Yeah,
showed me not that he's with them or that he was being soft by doing that. It's showing, okay, yeah, you guys got this game right now, but we're going to end you guys next game, and you're going to see what we're going to do to you.
right. They're not gonna lose at home. Like I 100%
Right.
fully expect them to win.
But a fire's lit over everyone right now.
Yeah, and that's the team you don't want to light a fire against either.
No, not at all.
But what do you think, Saya?
I agree with a lot of the things y'all said. I don't expect it to be a blowout game though.
No, I feel like they have too much class to do that.
I also think they gave the Grizzlies too much confidence as well.
For sure.
Especially Jaren Jackson Jr. He's got a lot of confidence right now.
So
Yeah, as a big man, he should not be shooting those threes, but he was making them last night.
Right.
The Warriors kind of gave them a little bit of hope, and that might be a big mistake. But by that, I mean the Grizzlies might push Game 7.
I feel like it's going to be like a game 4 type scenario where the Warriors eke out like a 3-point win, but like it's going to be like more offensively instead of defense oriented.
That's fine. I agree with that.
I just feel sad for Memphis. Like Nick said, the Warriors gave them hope, and they're just going to squash that hope so fast. I feel like they're going to be up by like 20, 30 points, put in, Damian Lee, Moody, and then they're only going to win by like 15 or something like that. So,
I mean, yeah, I just don't expect the Grizzlies to win, especially at San Francisco.
plus Clay was shooting nice when he was in the game. So
Yeah, and Curry wasn't playing bad either. Those two
No.
were like the only two players playing good.
right. So
They don't have 60.
But speaking of coaches, do you guys think that Doc Rivers should be fired from the 76ers?
no.
I don't think so either.
I personally think that it depends like what coaches you could get. If it's like Mike D'Antoni, like Jalen Rose said, that's not going to do anything because it's like the same system. But if it's like someone who you can like utilize and beat right way, I feel like they might consider it.
I also don't know if I can blame Doc for the series though.
No, I don't blame him. I think I blame Harden, like I've said.
Yeah. I also think if I was their like manager, I would let Doc run another year, but I'd also go out and get more defensive pieces.
Right.
Some more spot up shooting. So like I'm gonna try to run it back almost.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I definitely wouldn't give James Harden the max deal like he's asking for, though.
No.
But his player option, he's going to pick that up. It's $49.5 million. You can't do anything about that, but just don't extend him.
I agree heavily.
What do you think, Gio?
Well, like I said before, he's pretty much like a spot up shooter now. 4 seconds or less, he needs the ball in his hands in order to be productive on the court. At the same time, if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm looking to get Mike D'Antoni on my coaching staff as immediately, just because we saw what Mike D'Antoni does to James Harden, and then we also saw what happened with him in Brooklyn. When Mike D'Antoni was the assistant coach, his offensive game was phenomenal, right? Mike D'Antoni was not there this year. And when he played, obviously he was, trying to get out of there, but Mike D'Antoni was not there, and his offense was lacking as well. So I feel like Mike D'Antoni is a big reason of why James Harden is who he is. So
I can see that.
I agree. But real quick, going back a second, would you let James Harden walk if someone else starts him at max?
I would personally. If I'm the 76ers, yeah.
What you think? Yeah.
So for me, that's very tough. I would offer him a contract, right? Just like I said, because I'd rather have him than Danny Green be my spot up shooter, for sure. But at the same time, he's not going to want that. He might as well just go end his career in Sacramento or OKC, back where it started, something like that. Because I feel like the 76ers could obviously get another big piece for Joel and Tyrese. So,
well, that's the thing. Like the reason I say yes is because I'd rather build around Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid rather than have Harden, because that was working earlier in the season. Like Tyrese was going off, and then they got Harden. He still went off, but not to the effect that he was, and it didn't lead to the success that it was before they got Harden, I would say.
I would agree. But if you want another piece of, if you're the 76ers, who do you want? Who's going to be that option?
See, if they trade Harden, I would say that they do get a couple of role players, like 3-and-D players, I would say, plus a couple picks.
Would you try to trade for Markelle Fultz again?
No.
Even though he's balling on Orlando?
Yeah, but I don't think he'd be best fit for the 76ers, personally.
I'm gonna trade for Damian Lillard. Harden for Lillard?
Right.
No.
Actually,
would-
that would
Obviously,
would-
they would have to get Maxey involved with that, possibly Tobias Harris.
it doesn't make sense from Portland's viewpoint to make that trade. But like a 3-person, like 3-team trade maybe, where somehow Philly can get Dame. That's who I would try to get.
If they do end up trying to trade Harden, yeah, that's the best case scenario for sure.
What type of role players would you want around Maxey and Embiid though?
I feel like they need like 3-and-D players. Like you said, they struggle on defense. So and they need shooting. So I'd just go after a couple 3-and-D players plus a couple like first round picks.
Uh,
You got something to say, Gio?
Not revolving around the 76ers, but your guys' talk had my gears turning right now. And I was thinking about what we spoke about earlier sometime. Zach LaVine, he's a free agent. I feel like he's gonna sign that max or something, whatever the case may be, for a 3-team trade. Would you trade Damian Lillard to possibly Chicago or to LA and then have Russ and LaVine go somewhere?
Yeah, as a Lakers fan, I would love Dame on LA.
Dame or LaVine. I feel like you guys would be fine with either one of them. I
Yeah,
feel
I'd be
like
fine with either one.
Russ would work better with Chicago. I feel like that would be a good spot for him. And I feel like LaVine in Portland with what's his face?
Simons?
Simons, yeah, with Simons. I feel like that would be a great, duo to build around. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Thoughts on that?
both Levine or Dame Dollar would be a great fit with the Lakers, I would say.
and I feel like Russ would be fine going to either of those teams.
I agree. What do you think, Saya?
I think that would be cool. But I was really thinking about Jeremy Grant.
That's another good one.
Are the Lakers still interested in him too, though?
I believe we are. I mean, we never stopped being interested.
But I feel like Jeremy Grant would be a nice piece to go around.
But would you
Agreed,
send
right.
Russ off there?
Well, I don't think we'd have to give up Russ for Jeremy Grant, if I'm being honest.
How you might?
How do I get Jeremy Grant?
Yeah.
I'd throw some THT in there, maybe some Malik Monk, a couple picks. I feel like you could get away with that and not put Russ for Jeremy Grant. Like, I feel like if we did trade Russ for Jeremy Grant, we'd be losing that trade. Even with the way Russ has been playing, yeah, because like Russ is, even though he's not like, superstar anymore, he's still star caliber. I wouldn't put Jeremy Grant as a star yet. He's getting there, but he's not yet.
Now, if you don't mind, Nick, here is my argument for that. You have Jeremy Grant, who averaged, I believe, 20 to 25 points this past season or the season before that, before he was on Team USA, okay?
Right.
The Olympic team, okay? And then the defensive aspect of it, he's a great defender. We saw that when he was with the Nuggets. He's played in the playoffs. He was a great threat when he was on the Nuggets in the playoffs. And the Lakers need defense. The Lakers need a big body other than Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
Yeah.
He's a good shooter as well. Russ, he's a small body. He does not have the athleticism anymore that he once had. Not a good fit. I would rather have that trade happen than have it not happen. Just because I feel like you're getting so much with a young Jeremy Grant than an old Russell Westbrook.
If it does happen, like I wouldn't be mad if we traded Russ, but I feel like we need to get more pieces back than just Jeremy Grant if we do end up trading Russ to the Pistons.
I feel like it would be more of an ego thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying like, okay, we lost that trade obviously for Russell Westbrook because you guys gave up so much for him.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, you're getting a piece that you do really need in a Jeremy Grant, where I feel like you guys are gaining from that. And I feel like they just don't want to do that as an organization because they're only getting one player back instead of the 3 pieces or 4 pieces that they lost in KCP, Montrezl Harrell, Kuzma. So
I don't know. I feel like we could get away with throwing away like Malik Monk, THT, Kendrick Nunn, and maybe a pick or two, and then get Jimmy Grant, and then turn around and trade Russ somewhere else.
that, or why wouldn't you trade for, what about this? What about Jeremy Grant and Stewart?
For with Russ, just for Russ.
Russ and THT, I would say.
I don't know. Maybe it would work.
Because I'm keeping Monk. If I'm the Lakers organization, I'm not letting another young blood go like
Right. Yeah.
Alex Caruso go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm keeping Malik Monk. I'm trying to get rid of THT because he's awful. I'm sorry to say this. I do not see anything coming from him. Although
I wouldn't
everyone
say
else sees something.
I wouldn't say he's awful. I would just say it's not the best fit on the Lakers with
That's what
LeBron and AD healthy.
To put it politely, yes.
Yeah.
Send him off to the Pistons. Obviously, I don't think this trade's going to happen because the Pistons are the Pistons, right? They're in Detroit. Why would, I feel like Russ would try to force his way out. But that a good trade, I feel like, is Jeremy Grant and Stewart. You get 2 big bodies. You get the hardest Stewart, right? Because we all know he tried to fight LeBron James. Rather have him on your team than against him. So I feel like those 2 players, you guys would be solid defensively, and you guys actually would have a culture again.
I don't know. Honestly, I like THT. I think he's a good young player, still developing. He's showing flashes. So I would give him, if we have to, and we can't get anyone good of value for him, I'd give him 1 more year, see what he can do. And then, but I mean, if we can get Jeremy Grant, either with Russ or without Russ, I would love that because one, it would put Anthony Davis at the 5, which is where he's naturally good at and how the Lakers thrived in 2020. And Jeremy Grant, like you said, is a great defender and a big body at the 4 spot, which is what we've been lacking and why we've been playing Anthony Davis at the 4.
Right. And just one more thing, sorry, Nick. THE, it's not like I don't like him. I don't like the confidence he has because he feels like I feel like he thinks that he's already there. He's already made it, right? So he can do the LeBron James things, the Russell Westbrook things when he needs to prove himself. And I feel like he still hasn't proved himself yet.
I get that. It kind of reminds me of like how Kyle Kuzma went out on the Lakers.
Right, but he did kind of prove himself his rookie season. That's why everyone was like, so.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, Say you can talk now.
Yeah, it was a good talk right there. Would you try to trade Russ for like a Seth Curry kind of, or would you try to trade for more of another 3-and-D guy if you got Jeremy Grant?
Oh, if we got Jeremy Grant, then yeah, I'd do it for Seth Curry for sure because like we already have a 3-and-D guy in Jeremy Grant.
So I'm kind of confused. You said you wanted to trade Russell Westbrook for Seth Curry?
I would do that, but like plus more, obviously.
Yeah, but
the Nets have a lot to offer. I would say like young role player wise.
Well, that's tough.
Because like you could get Seth Curry, potentially Joe Harris as well.
Right. At the same time, you have Kyrie Irving.
True.
But at the same time, we've seen Kevin Durant be as faithful as a snake, right? That man literally went behind Brody's back after saying he's going to stay with him. They re-signed Kyrie Irving, the Nets. They trade him for Russell Westbrook. I feel like Kevin Durant could do that because he's the star player on that team.
I could see that, but I think Kyrie and Katie stick together. I feel like they're like brothers. Even though it's not working, I still think they stick together.
But we all thought that of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant as well. Even more so, I feel like, because Russ was there for him.
I don't know. I feel like after they blew the 3-1 lead, you kind of had like the sixth sense where like Katie might leave.
Yeah, but Kevin Durant did seem pretty frustrated with the whole entire Kyrie Irving debacle thing, with him missing games 2 seasons ago to him missing games this season.
But I feel like now that like the COVID ban is lifted, like I feel like they'll give it 1 more year, see how they do. potentially not every 82 game, but like close to like 65, 70 games together, see how the record works out, and then
Gotcha.
go from there.
Agreed.
I don't know if Westbrook and KD would play together again though.
You
I
don't
don't
think so?
think
That can
so.
be repaired?
I don't think
Uh,
KD would, but I don't think Russ would. Russ like hates him, I feel like.
I feel like they know how they play with each other. And they almost beat possibly one of the greatest teams ever created because they had, the best record ever, right? And that Warriors team in 2016 when they blew that 3-1 lead. Yeah, why not run it back? See what you guys got.
I mean, if the Lakers did get Kyrie, I wouldn't complain, but I just don't see it happening personally.
That would be a great narrative.
It would be because you get KD and Russ back, and then LeBron and Kyrie back.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Did you have something to say, Nick?
no, you get that.
I saw an article today that Phil Jackson believes that they should trade LeBron James. Your thought process on that statement, because he is a consultant for them.
Yeah, I've touched on it in previous podcasts. I don't like how he's a consultant for us. Like he's not even a part of the front office. I don't like how we're going outside of the front office. Front office stuff should be done by the front office in place. And I don't think LeBron James should be traded, even though he's on it. I think his last year of his contract, he might walk. But 1 year of LeBron James could still mean one more championship. I would not give that up. But what do you think, Gio?
To me, it's very tough, right? You're getting rid of pretty much half of your squad, right? And then the cap with the cap is right for these next couple of years with the players that are in free agency, right? I don't think it's worth it because you're not getting the Kevin Loves, the J.R. Smiths, just like when the Cavs got LeBron, right? They pretty much had to blow that entire squad up just for him. But there were free agents, there were trades that were able to happen to create the team that he needed. I just don't see that happening because everyone's kind of loyal to their team at this moment. And they're just trying to figure it out with their squad right now.
Yeah, I mean, I still see LeBron as untouchable. Like he almost won the scoring title with a bad knee and bad ankle this season. I just don't see how you would make that logical to trade him.
It's logical in the best sense if it gives you the best chance of winning. If he's the one that you believe that's stopping you from winning, if you keep Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis and then get a bunch of pieces around them, right?
But that's the thing. Like it's clear that he's not the reason we're losing. It's clear that Russell's the reason.
Obviously, but at the same time, he's the best player for you guys to trade because you're going to get the most out of him, right? Either him or Anthony Davis. If you want to build around Anthony Davis, you're going to have to trade LeBron James, right? Because you're getting the most out of him because you're not going to get anything from Russell Westbrook for the most part.
Yeah,
we saw this past season.
I would only say like the one thing that's making me nervous is like the fact that trade rumors are going around and now Phil Jackson says like, yeah, I think we should. Like it makes me think that he is going to walk eventually.
I would not be surprised if you guys actually trade LeBron James.
I don't think we're going to trade him. I just think that he's going to walk.
He's going to walk.
If we have a bad year in the next couple of years, like his last 2 years of his contract, one more bad year, he's gone. That's my opinion.
From a business standpoint, I don't see a team ever trading LeBron.
No, because like you have to trade half your roster.
Right.
But like
plus
also,
he's lucrative.
LeBron is the biggest name in sports,
right?
Debatably one of the biggest names. Like that's a lot of revenue coming in just from one player. So business wise, I don't see a general manager like an organization being like, yeah, we want to trade away all this potential revenue.
Yeah, like any logical GM, like not only from basketball standpoint, but from a business standpoint, like you said, would not trade him. Like that'd just be, I don't know. I think everyone would be shocked if he ever got traded, not only from the Lakers, but just from any team.
Well, yes, because go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we saw this in Cleveland, right? Where the entire economy boomed, right? That city was in a pretty big economic deficit, I feel like, especially, visiting there, everything. It was kind of down, right, financially and economically. Being there with LeBron James being there, the economy was booming, things were getting fixed, things were increasing and getting better. Afterwards, things are, becoming the same thing, still increasing, getting better. And yeah, I feel like that's the same thing, even though it's LA. LeBron James, I feel like what was second in jersey sales,
Yeah,
something like that.
something like that.
So you're still bringing in, amazing amount of revenue because of jersey sales alone. So
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. But like I said, I'm just nervous that he's going to walk eventually because like one more bad season like this season, I feel like it's ride or die for him because if he loses again
right,
and he knows he's getting older, he's going to leave to a championship contender again. I feel
which
like.
is
Nah, he's gonna go join forces with Bronny. When
Right,
Bronny
wherever
gets
Bronny
injured.
goes.
yeah, second round pick, Miami Heat. That's exactly what I'm guessing.
Nah, he's coming to the Lakers. And
I
LeBron's
don't
staying
know
in
if you
LA.
want LeBron. I like
You
our
know,
team. I don't know if I want LeBron.
Bronny's just gonna stay on the bench, ride the bench for the Lakers, and LeBron will stay, and everything will be great.
Double.
All right, so Nick Saya left us on a cliffhanger. So what were you gonna say, Saya?
Whatever team LeBron's on, they dub up.
Fair enough. But do you guys think like LeBron's actually gonna follow Bronny? Because I feel like Bronny, given his name and like teams knowing that if they get him, they're getting LeBron, he's gonna go like to a lottery team, which are usually bad teams. So do you think like LeBron will actually follow them and like try to make them a playoff contender?
I don't know if Bronny will get drafted based off his skill level, though.
You don't think he will?
I don't. Based off what he's doing like right now, I don't know if he has NBA potential.
I don't either, but like I feel like it's obvious that he's going to get drafted because any team that drafts him knows that they're going to get LeBron. That's just what I feel like.
That's also very true, though.
What do you think, Gio?
I don't think he's going to be lottery for sure. Obviously, I think there's going to be way higher caliber players for the lottery. Bronny is a good player. I think he's better than LiAngelo Ball, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Although he is, he does deserve a second shot, third shot in the NBA, LiAngelo, right? Or even a first shot, really. But going back to Bronny, he's gonna be a late first round or like a second round pick for me, just because of the fact you're getting LeBron James. But so I'd waste a second round pick just so I can get LeBron James on my team. And with that being said, I feel like one of those later first round, teams could pick him up as well because they are, say, Miami Heat, say, 76ers, someone of that caliber where, okay, I'll waste my first round pick because, we already have a stacked team pretty much, and we get to get LeBron James as well. So that's what I would do.
I don't want LeBron in Miami, though.
Don't?
Yeah. But if he was, say, Philadelphia, because, that's the scenario we're looking at, right? JoJo is looking at the end of his prime, I feel like, right? Because he just entered his prime, I feel like. No, you don't think so?
No, I feel like his prime's going to be longer than that.
You think his prime is going to last more than 3 years after this?
I think it'll last at least 5.
Okay.
You're talking about Harden, right?
No, JoJo.
Okay, yeah, Joel Embiid. Okay. Someone calls Harden JoJo, so I get confused every time someone says JoJo. But no, I think Joel Embiid still has time for his prime, though.
I agree.
Okay, so let's just say he doesn't get over the hump, right? You get LeBron James in Philly. I feel like that's a great marketplace for him, where AI was and all those guys. Great, culture there. Dr. J was there, stuff like that. Now you get LeBron James and you wasted your late first round pick because you already have a good team around Joel Embiid, right? You got Tyrese Maxey. Then you get on your bench possibly a good player in Bronny James. You never know what he can develop in the next 2 or 3 years. And then you also get LeBron James as your starting small forward, where I feel like even then, I feel like Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler, but I feel like LeBron James will help Joel Embiid more than Jimmy Butler helped him when he was on the 76ers.
But do you think with LeBron at that age will be like the same player that he is not right now, but in the past that he was?
I feel like he's going to be able to shoot the ball the way he's shooting right now. I feel like he's going to pick his spots and moments to be explosive. He's still 6'8", 6'10", 250 pounds. I feel like, he's still going to be a monster in that nature. His mid-range game is not going to leave, right? So, yeah, I think I think he's going to be fine. It's just 2 to 3 years. If he's played like this at 37, right, and he keeps his body in check, he'll be fine.
That's the thing. Like the injuries are going to start adding up. So I feel like he has to make sure he stays healthy.
Right, and I'm sure he's going to put even more money into his body than he already is. So,
right.
How long do you expect to have LeBron on your team though? At that point,
1 year, 2 years.
Yeah, I would say like 1 year. I'd say honestly 1 year. But if they
Right.
don't win the chip, then yeah, give it another year.
what do you think LeBron does after his career's over?
I have no clue what he's gonna do, dude.
He's going to sign a $375 million contract with Fox.
No,
for 10 years.
He's gonna be an announcer, I feel like.
No, I think he's going to be an owner for sure. He's going to buy out the Cleveland Cavaliers from Dan Gilbert at that point in time. And yeah, he's just going to be an owner. He's going to be the general manager, and he's going to be the coach. Might as well be the player as well. So
I can see him being an owner. I could definitely see him like MJ type thing, taking over like a Hornets type team.
He's got it. He's going to be an owner. I don't see him being anything else than an owner. So
yeah,
he's going to retire.
Okay.
From Bronny's team.
Okay.
And he's going to buy Bronny's team. And then
I could see that.
Bronny.
I could see that.
I would love to see LeBron James and Dwayne Wade co-owners of a team like the Utah Jazz or something like that, right? Since Dwayne Wade owns part of the Utah Jazz right now, or just own a team in general, right? So that would be great to see.
Yeah, I agree. Well, speaking of that 10-year, $375 million contract, I know you want to touch on that, Gio. That's crazy. Tom Brady signing that deal with Fox while he's still playing, and he already has money in the bank for retirement. Like he doesn't have enough money already.
This is to make sure that his kids are set for life, for sure.
That's the thing. Like people are saying, like we don't even know if he's good yet, which is true. So like, how are you handing out this type of money without seeing?
He is good. We have seen clips of him, right, where he has been on the Manning pot or the Manning cast on Monday Night Footballs. If you have not watched that, I feel like that's such a great, broadcasting system. I thought he was going to sign with ESPN just so he could do that Monday Night Football with the Manning brothers, which would have been awesome. But yeah, signing with Fox, those guys are, leveling up, especially since they already have, in college, the Big Ten Network and all those things. In the NFL, they have a great football cast, right? Just adding Tom Brady, the knowledge, I'm sure he's going to be able to talk about it very knowledgeably. And the only problem I was very shocked. He wanted to spend more time with his children and his wife. I don't see that happening just because he's got to travel so much possibly for these for this football broadcasting thing.
But I feel like he only has to travel on like the weekends though, because like Fox is not usually Thursday night. It's usually like Sunday, 4:25.
Right, but I also don't know for interviews and stuff like that, right?
I feel like he'll figure it out. Like he'll find time to be with his family as well as broadcasting. I think he signed this deal because he's scared that he's going to be bored in retirement. That's what I think.
He is going to be bored, and that's why I believe JJ Redick signed with ESPN for the First Take in those shows, because he was bored. you don't know what to do, especially when you're retired and you played basketball 24/7 or football 24/7. That's all you did and thought. What are you gonna do? So yeah, he was gonna be bored. He also wanted to make sure his kids were set for life. So
Right.
Y'all keep saying kids, bro. There's no way he's thinking about his kids.
you don't think so?
I think he's thinking about grandkids, maybe even the generation
For sure,
below
for
that,
sure.
bro.
That's
for
true.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, all his kids to come are set for life.
Right.
Like 375 milli.
That's
Plus the money he made while playing.
Like
right. He made $322 million in 20 years,
That's crazy.
which I'm sure
But-
some goes to taxes, obviously, but at the same time, you're looking at I would say maybe at least 200,000. Right? Is that right? Yeah, at least or $200 million. At least $200 million is to you, I would say. So
But they did say, like, if his team is kicked out of the Super Bowl, he could make an appearance for the Super Bowl broadcast on Fox. So we'll
that
see.
would be pretty interesting.
when he gets kicked out of the Super Bowl,
Out of the playoffs, you mean? Yeah.
out of the playoffs, or he'll be at the Super Bowl.
I see him being at the Super Bowl either way.
I agree.
But I don't know. The weapons he has, we got to see how he performs first with the weapons he has. So
I think they added weapons and they're going for all out for this year.
but speaking about weapons, Jerry Jeudy just got arrested.
Right. Yes.
And your thoughts on that? Do you think that's going to play a big part in saying, "Oh man, like what is Russell Wilson going to do?" Or
I think Russ, being the good leader that he is, will, like, obviously take him aside and be like, bro, like, that's not right. You can't do stuff like this. Like, obviously people make mistakes, so obviously we're not gonna, like, kick you off the team or anything, but just know, like, this isn't right. You can't do it again.
It wasn't anything like serious, right?
No.
Like,
No, it was
I
like
looked it up. It was
domestic
a
violence type thing. Not
right.
even.
wasn't it just like not being an accomplice or something, but like he withheld information or something?
Well, here I looked it up.
It's kind of like, it's complicated.
Here it is. It's actually pretty simple if you look up what happened. Here we go. So according to CBS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jeudy charged for second-degree criminal tampering indicates interference with another person's property with intent to cause injury, inconvenience, or annoyance. So
I mean, yeah.
the charge, a misdemeanor, includes a domestic violence enhancer.
It's not awful, and he's not even proven innocent yet, so we don't even
Right.
know. But, like,
I feel like either he was yelling at someone on their property. I feel like either he was annoying someone, right, because they knew who he was. He might have tried to cause injury, right? But you don't know the scenario, what was causing that. So
right. So you can't really, like, jump to assumptions until you know the exact, like, thing that happened.
right. I feel like it's the same thing with J.R. Smith, right? Throwing a fan's phone. But if it was on someone's property, then he would have the same charge.
Right.
Not gonna be.
Does that make sense, Nick? Or,
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. It's not too serious, but like it's still the NFL. You don't want that around your name, so he's gonna get a
Right.
little slap on the wrist.
Right. But speaking of the
We'll see
NFL,
what punishment he gets for that.
I don't think the NFL is really going to punish
Not
him
going
at
to
all.
punish him.
I don't think so, because,
I
like,
would hope not.
it's so little. Like, it's not like a domestic
Right.
violence like Ezekiel Elliott or Kareem Hunt had, where
Right.
they had to get suspended.
Mhm.
So I feel like they're just going to be like, talk to him about it and be like, maybe a little fine, but that's
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
That's how I was thinking too. Just look fine.
But yeah, speaking of the NFL, obviously the schedules came out for every team. I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on your particular team schedule. What do you guys think? It's hard, in the middle, or easy? What do you think about the Dolphins, Saya?
So for me, with Miami, some people might think it's more difficult for this Miami Dolphins team, but I think this is an easy schedule for Miami. I think they run through 17-0, beat the Bills twice with ease. And then Miami has the second perfect season of all time.
Is that your biased answer or non-biased answer?
Extremely biased.
Okay.
Real answer, I think it's in the middle. I think Miami, there's room for Miami to underperform, and by that I mean go like 9-8. But then I think there's also potential Miami goes like 12-5 at the same time.
Yeah, I agree with the same thing with the Cowboys. I'm in the middle because like the first 2 weeks we got two very hard quarterbacks and teams. We got the Bucks on Sunday night and then the Bengals week 2. So that those two alone are very hard. And then we have to play the Super Bowl champ, the Rams. We have to play the Packers. We have a lot of hard teams, but we also play like our division twice each season. So like those teams I'm not really worried about. It's the teams outside of our division that I'm worried about. So like I'm in the middle. I can still see us going 12-5, but realistically, I have us going at least getting 10 wins, I would say.
So, yeah.
So for the Steelers, we already know what the AFC North is, right? We got to see how Deshaun Watson plays with the Browns to see if they're lethal, because I don't know really of many weapons other than Chubb, right?
Right, because they're letting Landry walk
to.
too.
Right, yeah. But they let go of who's
Fugitive. Oh,
no,
you're talking about Cleveland?
Yeah, Cleveland. They're what number one receiver? I'm blanking on his name.
OBJ.
No, the second one that played with him.
Jarvis.
Jarvis, yes, thank you. Landry Jarvis.
Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry, yeah. Jarvis Landry. Yeah. They dropped him for no reason, I don't think. So
Well, they were trying to get a contract done, but like he wanted more money, so they're just letting him walk.
Right, exactly. So we don't know what the Browns can bring. We know what the Bengals are. And we know what the Ravens could possibly be.
Right.
So our division's already stacked. Outside of our division, we're playing the Panthers. I feel like that's a win. The Falcons, I feel like that could be a win. The Colts could be a win depending on how they play. Obviously we do play bad against these bad teams, right? But then we play the Saints, which could be a loss. The Eagles, right? I feel like this is our best outside division season we've had in a long time. And we also play the Dolphins. That should be an easy win. We play the Bucks, depending on how they play. The Bills, obviously. Then we also have the Jets, who should be a win. So I'm liking our chances. We play the Patriots, which this could be our first time in a long time which we beat the Patriots. So yeah, Dolphins, Patriots, Bills, we should, and Jets, we should light them all up.
So you have a high trust in Mitchell Trubisky, I'm sensing.
No, I have a high trust in Pickett.
I don't think he's going to start right away. That's my opinion.
I hope Tomlin starts that, man. We drafted him like that. We have weapons for that, man. Mitchell Trubisky should be a backup and a backup only.
But you guys gave him 2 years, $20 million. That's why I'm saying he's going to start.
That's when, as a contingency plan, if we did not get Pickett. That's in my opinion.
I feel like it's going to be like a Justin Fields Bears type situation where he like sits out the first maybe 3 to 4 weeks and then goes in and like then starts the rest of the season.
That's very reasonable, but as an unreasonable person, I want Pickett to be starting because we've seen what Mitch does in the NFL. I need to see what this kid can do. So
that's fair.
Thoughts on who your quarterback is? Sorry, go ahead, Gio.
No, I said thoughts on that, Nick. What do you have thoughts on?
No matter who your quarterback is, you're not being that Dolphins team.
We'll see.
You can throw Trubisky in there. You can throw Pickett in there. You can trade for Tom Brady and throw him in there. Nobody's going to stop. No one's going to go through that Miami Dolphins defense.
Well, first off, you said Tommy because he usually lost against you guys when he was in the division. So
you think you guys have an easy schedule, Gio?
I would say it's fair because obviously we don't know how our team is going to produce because it's frankly very new.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's pretty fair, and I'm excited to watch. So
it's fair. Back to the NBA though. I know Gio wanted to talk about the new Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals trophies. The Eastern Conference obviously named after Larry Bird, and the Western Conference named after Magic Johnson. I think it was a great touch by the NBA, added motivation for the players, and I think it was long overdue, to be honest.
I agree. I think it was overdue because the old trophies were just, you know,
Right. They were old.
yeah, they weren't very flashy, you know. So like renewing them, they can put in some names on them. I feel like that could kind of rejuvenate it, make it more of a thing.
I agree. What do you think, Gio?
I think this is brilliant by Adam Silver. I believe we have talked about this in the past for an MVP in the playoffs. I wish it was one singular MVP, trophy where whoever played the best in the playoffs itself gets that trophy. I feel like it's kind of like a participation trophy, especially for the, East and West getting one, for the most part. Obviously, good for them. And I'm glad that Magic Johnson has a name on a trophy, and so does Larry Bird, because I didn't know what they were going to do, because I wished both of those guys had a name on a trophy, but I didn't know what kind of trophy, they were going to produce. So I'm pretty happy that they both have a name on a trophy, and I'm curious on your guys' thoughts. Who's going to be the first person to win MVP in the regular season, MVP in the playoffs, and MVP in the finals?
For me, I look at Giannis, to be honest.
That's who I'm guessing too.
Close. But I have one other person in mind, also in that Eastern Conference. Currently plays for the number 1 seed in the East right now. He goes by the name of Jimmy G. Jimmy gets buckets. And next year's going to be the first time it happens. Right? The trophy comes out next year.
No, this year. Isn't it this year? Or is it next year?
Are they releasing it this year? I'm not sure.
If it's this year, Giannis is going to win the trophy. If it's the Bucks, I feel like Jimmy Buckets is going to win it. If it's right, they're obviously, I feel like the best player on the team is going to win it for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we saw in the finals that it can really be anyone, especially Andre Iguodala, right?
Right.
Those players. But yeah, it's fun to watch, and I don't see Jimmy Butler winning regular season MVP just because it's Jimmy Butler, and I don't think he's appreciated enough to get that.
I agree.
But no, I would have to agree. It's going to be Giannis. I feel like LeBron could be motivated enough now that he wants to be the first person ever to get all three, right?
Yeah.
Especially if his record's up, he can definitely get the regular season MVP award if his record's up, playing the way he did. Finals MVP, obviously, it's always going to go to LeBron. I don't think any other player on the court, if they win, is going to get it. So
I agree.
Yeah, Giannis, LeBron, I would have to say Jokic possibly. Or I don't think Steph's ever going to win another regular season MVP, but it could be him as well.
I would say Embiid, but he won't go to the finals. So
that's what I was going to say about Jokic too. Like, I don't see him going to the finals anytime soon either.
I would say they're going to have voters fatigue for him in the regular MVP voting next year, like Nick said in the last podcast. But finals MVP, I think they could possibly reach the finals sometime soon, especially if Jamal Murray comes back the way he played in the past. So
it's possible. I just feel like the West is just so strong. Like, there's so many teams that I personally think could beat the Nuggets.
Understandable.
I think Miami beats them in the finals as well. So
they could go back to back.
I think we're going to go for a 3-peat this time.
Oh, yeah, that's something LeBron could never do in Miami.
Exactly.
All right.
But speaking of the Bucks, like, they came back down, I believe, by 10 last night to
like a minute or 2 minutes left.
Yeah, to go up 3-2. That's just poor execution by the Celtics. They should have had that one in the bag. They should be up 3-2 and going to close out at home. But now the Bucks could close it out. But I don't know. I still think it goes to 7. But actually, it's in Milwaukee. They might close it out
I
at
say
home, but
6.
I still I still think that the Celtics steal one in Milwaukee and then go back home in 7 and lose to the Bucks. That's me personally, but I feel like the Celtics definitely should have won that game last night, especially at home.
I agree with that. I am hoping there's a game 7. That would be phenomenal. But I do not believe that's going to happen. I think Giannis is going to close it out this next game.
I could definitely see that happening because Giannis in closeout games, as we've seen in the past, is just insane. It's like game 6, Klay Thompson kind of. So I can definitely see them closing it out, especially at home. They're going to feed off their fans. But I feel like, personally, I feel like the Celtics are going to come out even more hungry now with the fact that they just choked that game away.
That's true. That's true. But I think in Milwaukee will be tomorrow.
Yeah, I can definitely see the Bucks closing out at home for sure. Go ahead, Gio.
You want to finish up, Nick? Or
I was gonna say what you thinking, yeah.
oh, okay, got you. For me, it is not the Celtics' fault for choking that game. If you have the heart of a champion like Giannis Antetokounmpo does and Drew Holiday, and of course you need Bobby. So Bobby Portis is a huge part of why they won that game. And like we said in the previous podcast, I don't know if TNT is watching out of the 13 people that watch, the 6 people that watch us, or whoever the case may be, someone in Milwaukee watching us. Bobby Portis played when we said he needed to play. And
Bobby Portis watched it.
When Bobby Portis watches us, and when Bobby plays in the fourth quarter, the effort exceeds the talent of the Boston Celtics. He gets the offensive rebound, and he puts up that basket, and it somehow goes in, and they go up. Then Drew Holiday on the defensive end to have a block out of nowhere on Marcus Smart. Then to finish the game off with a steal on Marcus Smart as well. That was fantastic, and that's the heart of the champion, because Drew Holiday played both ways, where he played defensively and then hit a game-tying 3 at last second. So,
and not only have the presence of mind to get the block, but the presence of mind to throw the ball off of Marcus Smart as well.
Right, for sure.
And Bobby didn't even play like great offensively. He didn't shoot it very well, but he did the little things to help them get the win. Like you were touching on how Jason Tatum had way too many rebounds in game 4.
Right.
And then he came out and had 15 rebounds, made sure Jason Tatum didn't get those rebounds.
Right.
So like you said, he was a big part in their win. Obviously, Giannis is going to do Giannis things. It's just he needs help, and Drew and Bobby provided that in game 5, I believe.
And that's why I said Bobby, because he is such a big part of that team.
And I don't know. It's just that's just a bad loss for the Celtics. You can't lose.
It is very deflating, for sure.
Yeah, you can't lose a 10-point lead in 2 minutes like that.
But it is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, he's no slouch, man. Like, it's Giannis.
Yeah, but like you would expect them to like have to shoot threes if you're up by 10. Giannis doesn't shoot threes. It's kind of like you were just letting him get to the paint.
Well, that too, but he was 2 for 19, I believe they said, right? From the arc, right? 3-point land.
Mm-hmm.
He made that last second 3 to put them down by 3. That was the most clutch shot of that entire game, I feel like. Even though Drew had the game-tying 3, if Giannis missed that 3, and he was 2 for 19, mind you, they lose that game. So
yeah, that's true. If I'm Giannis, I still think he shoots too much. I would only shoot in clutch situations because he's shown in the past that he's great from 3 in clutch situations, but like just like in rhythm, it's not his game.
You gotta shoot the ball to be nice in the clutch. So you had to warm up that jumper to get that last one.
True.
But he's also tired. He has to have a defender, like an aggressive defender, which I didn't think he had left in him. But Al Horford defended Giannis better than anyone I've probably seen in a long time. So
I think you're forgetting about Bam Adebayo in 2020, if that's what Say is thinking.
Yeah,
Well,
so
in a long time, meaning this season. I don't
Okay.
think Giannis has been stopped this season, really.
Right.
Like one-on-one. And obviously, Al Horford stepped up to the plate, and I didn't think Al Horford would be able to tire Giannis. And that's why he's taking jump shots, is because he's tired, right? So
That's true. And outside of game 2 where Giannis got stopped in the
right.
series, outside of that, he has not been stopped at all.
No, but he's tired. He's Al Horford is tiring Giannis, which is hard to do. So
Right. But I mean, still, he's not doing nearly enough to stop him, I would say.
well, he is making it a close game. I feel like Giannis could be putting up 50 at least if he had the room to go inside the lane like he used to.
That's true. I feel like the Celtics are also missing Robert Williams big time.
Oh, for sure.
Like the fact that he came back and then went down again, that really hurt them because when Robert Williams was playing, like in game 2, I mean, he was a main reason why Giannis didn't play great in game 2.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think, Saya?
Bobby Portis watches the pod.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Bobby heard us talk. He said, "Hey, I'm not gonna drop 25, but I'm gonna do the little things, and we gonna come back in this game." Yeah, it might have been Giannis and Drew making some big time shots, but I think it's Bobby Portis' presence after watching this podcast that uplifted them to make the comeback and to
Yes,
win
sir.
the game. So in a way, we won that game.
We won that game.
But you also have to give props to Pat Connaughton as well because he still shot the ball very well too.
I would agree and disagree. He missed timely shots, though, I feel like. So
I feel like throughout the game he hit some key shots that did help the Bucks.
I guess he did make some shots at some moments, but I just feel like at more key moments, like I feel like that they could have swung momentum right in their favor for the most part, or keep the momentum in their side. I feel like he missed some shots like that, like a wide open quarter threes, stuff like that.
But like that's never been his game. Like in the clutch, he usually shies away in the clutch. I feel like
Right. Yes. Yeah.
so that's why he missed those.
Mhm.
But I was just saying, like throughout the game, you have to give him his props for making those threes.
Agreed.
Thanasis as well, I would say.
Yes, the cheerleader on the sidelines,
He gave a lot of
his
good
energy is unmatched.
more of them.
and he definitely said in the huddle, "We're gonna win this game."
Exactly. Thanasis is the MVP.
Facts.
And then goes Bobby Portis, and then Giannis.
I don't know.
Maybe Drew before Giannis because of the block and the steal, but
Maybe.
Bobby's a close first for sure.
Oh, very. But I just disagree with your third as well.
Well, who's your third?
Serge Ibaka.
Bench warmer.
He was sitting there talking about what he's going to cook next on his cooking show. And they were like, "Dang, I'm hungry now." And then Serge said, "If we win this game, I'll cook some of the food for you." And they said, "I bet." And then they came back and won the game.
That's fair.
I was there. I heard it.
Oh yeah, I bet. No, but realistically, definitely Bobby and Drew are, I would say, 1A and 1B for the MVP of the game. But you got a segment to do, Gio?
Yeah, real quick. I know I showed Nick these earlier, but it's gonna be a PE, maybe just a look, but these shoes look amazing. It's Miami Dolphins, Jordan 11 PE. It's all teal blue with hints of the orange, right? And it's just a clean looking Jordan 11. If you really like the Dolphins or if you're into Jordans or PEs, this is a great shoe, but they did say that it's not going to be out to the public. They're thinking, but it was a first look today, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, that sounds fire. There's not much going on in the video game world. It's been quiet, so I'm just going to hand it over to Saya in the music industry.
With me, no, I'm gonna say that one. I gotta shout out Jack Harlow for the album. I thought it was a good album. Not every song was the best, I would say, but he did have some very good ones in there.
Yeah, that's all the time we got for today. Thank you all for watching, and see y'all next week.
Thank you for watching. Like, comment, GL.
Hey, make sure you guys subscribe. Thank you guys so much.
Peace.
Peace.